Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bitcoin News with the fast facts. One Bitcoin will cost you 59,000 Monopoly dollars today. You need to prepare for volatility. We've got South Korea's National Pension Service. They're buying Bitcoin. Dubai has approved Bitcoin for salary payments. Thailand has a pro-Bitcoin and crypto prime minister. Kamala wants to steal patents in her own words in an older video that we'll bring up. Schiff now wants to speak at the next Bitcoin conference. Your sovereignty and economic freedom is under attack. It is time to opt out. Now, I thought this was a good way to be able to set the stage. Sir William of Rotherham, if you had bought Bitcoin 4 years ago on this date, the 19th of August 2020, the price of Bitcoin was $11,600. Today, or 2 days ago now, 1 day ago, the Bitcoin price is 59,000. You'll gain 401%. That is the power of Bitcoin when you buy, stack, and chill. Samson Mao, central banks and massive pension funds are seeking Bitcoin exposure. Public companies are ramping up their Bitcoin intake. Public mining companies are now buying too. This is an incredibly bullish setup. Plan accordingly. What are we planning for? Now, Dubai has just approved Bitcoin and crypto for salary payment. Massive, making it another place where it is, in a way, legal tender. The world's third largest pension fund by assets, which is the South Korean National Pension Service, bought $33.7 million in MicroStrategy stock in Q2. Everyone is starting to get it. Oliver believes. I truly believe this is about to happen with Bitcoin. We'll zoom in on this chart in a sec. You only have a few more weeks to get in front of it. Doubt this, and I believe you'll regret it for the rest of your life. This is not a drill. Stack harder. This photo here, obviously up and to the right over time, this Bitcoin price chart, he's drawn a wiggly line on here all the way up to about $300,000-$400,000, maybe even a little bit higher there. TikTok, next block, it is happening, it is coming. We have Shinawatra has officially become Thailand's youngest prime minister. She is a crypto bull. Her father was a crypto bull. In my opinion, Thailand could be next to adopt crypto as legal tender. Let's watch it play out. Whether Thailand adopts it as legal tender or not, the world is starting to wake up. Maybe not so much in the West, but we'll dive into that shortly. Now, this in regards to Kamala wanting to steal patents. This is an old video for 2019. But just the insanity of all of it and what Max has to say we'll come back to. But if I bring this up full screen and start at the start, shout out to everyone watching live, watching the replay. It is good to see you this morning. If you can smash the like button, greatly appreciated. Now let's play Kamala.
I will snatch their patent so that we will take over. And yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do that. It's the question is, do you have the will to do it? I have the will to do it. I will snatch their patent.
Little bit scary. We'll snatch their patents. People have worked hard for it. They've gone through all the hoops to be able to get their patents and then just taken away. Very socialist, very communism with that. So I don't know, I'll leave that one with you. Obviously that is an old video, but some crazy stuff going out, and this is all just going to lead to money printing at the end of the day. This is not good. This especially for house prices. So Kamala unveiled $25K down payment plan for first-time home buyers. The reason I bring this up on a Bitcoin channel is this money needs to come from somewhere. As the liquidity comes into the Bitcoin marketplace, it's absolutely going to pump. There's so many things. The bad news about this is house is just going to cost $25,000 more, at least, with this money coming in, more people opening up. It's going to put more pressure onto the system, as well as some price gouging practices to be able to stop, which is going to make things more expensive again. So Mario, VP Kamala Harris is set to announce a significant housing proposal during her visit to North Carolina tomorrow. The plan aims to provide up to $25K in down payments assistance for first-time home buyers, with even more generous support targeted at first-generation homeowners. This initiative is part of a broader economic strategy that also includes measuring to address rising living costs. Notably, Kamala, I'm trying with the name. will propose a ban on corporate price gouging practices in the grocery sector, addressing concerns about food affordability. The housing assistance plan could potentially, it won't, help many Americans overcome one of the biggest hurdles to home ownership, the initial down payment, and then trap them into something where they are chained for the next 30, 40 years. Longer, depending if they refinance it or not. Some people give them a whole lot of debt and they are chained to the system forever. And a lot of people still believe their home is an investment, which it never was. But by focusing additional support on first-generation homeowners, the proposal aims to address wealth disparities and promote economic mobility. We'll see how that plays out. The media, they are turning against Kamala as well. Just a couple of excerpts. Kamala Harris' Soviet-style grocery price plan has no upside and will likely spark worst shortage since the 1970s. Harris' plan to stop price gouging could create more problems than it solves. The Times demands serious economic ideas. Harris supplies gimmicks. And then we've got Max Kaiser's. I can go back to it. Sorry. This is the one that I was trying to go back to. Buy and properly store as much actual Bitcoin, not the Bitcoin ETFs, as you can. So if you decide to leave the country, you can take your wealth with you with unconfiscatable, uncensorable Bitcoin. That's the whole point. Resistance money, we are here for that, to be able to opt out of the broken fiat slave system that keeps you controlled by design. When you adopt the Bitcoin way lifestyle, there is no going back. Tony from the Bitcoin way. They are today's sponsor. Really quickly, this was a review from them. Wonderfully helpful, principled, and knowledgeable staff. They make me proud to be learning about Bitcoin. And that's all we need to do, is we just need to buy, stack, and chill, and then study Bitcoin to be able to opt out of the broken fiat control system. If you need any help, reach out to the Bitcoin way. Masters in cybersecurity, 25 years cybersecurity experience. They can help you. Run an air-gapped wallet, run a node, be a self-sovereign individual with your Bitcoin, take it off the exchange today, get your seed on steel minimum, and then they can protect your online security, your online identity, and then give you a plan B citizenship if you need to. If you need to be able to escape, you can go through it. Not for everyone, but anyone that wants to have financial sovereignty for the rest of their lives, maybe the third step is the most important once you've got your money and your internet sorted. Reach out. The first 30 minutes is free, and they can help with inheritance planning, multi-sig, Bitcoin privacy, buying Bitcoin, KYC free, and so much more. Switching gears totally, Peter Schiff. I'm beginning to like him again. I don't trust him. I don't respect him for the narcissistic way that he approaches the Bitcoin community. It's absolutely despicable what comes out of him. But just how much he talks about Bitcoin, any news is good news, I guess, at the end of the day. I don't know if anyone takes Peter Schiff too seriously anymore, but he did run into David Bailey of Bitcoin Magazine at a pool party in Puerto Rico. They talked about speaking at the next Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas, May 2025. I wonder if Bitcoin will still be a thing that far into the future. He's trolling, ladies and gentlemen, the whole time. He is Bitcoin's biggest troll. Well done, Peter. I don't know. He's beginning to grow on me. A little bit dense. Peter, there's no way he doesn't own Bitcoin. Probably not under his own name, but it'll be in a trust somewhere. I just do not believe, after all these years trolling so hard, I think the joke's probably on us that he doesn't. Sam Samao, again, the US really needs those strategic Bitcoin reserves to catch up to China. Now, Jan 3, let's check it out. Nation-state Bitcoin adoption leaderboard, according to publicly viewable info. Countries with the highest Bitcoin holdings: China, 190,000. The US, only 120,000. Some of those is a Bitfinex as well. UK, 61. Germany, well, no. They're deleted. They delete themselves. And Ukraine's got 46,000 Bitcoin. The thing with that is, the US is selling a lot of Bitcoin. They still don't get it, or maybe because Trump has gone pro-Bitcoin, pro-crypto, in a way, they're like, let's make this really hard. Let's just sell it all off. That's the conspiracy, the tinfoil hat. Maybe they just need the liquidity. Maybe they're trying to pay for the endless wars and opt out of peaceful resistance money, turn it back into fiat, which is there to be able to enslave people, to be able to kill people through war. That's how they perpetuate the fiat system. We can just opt out of it. Hopefully nation states, mate, Actually, hopefully nation states don't get it for like another 4 years, and it gives everyone the opportunity to be able to stack for the next 4 years like crazy. But soon enough, they are going to figure it out, and they're going to be like, oh, we stuffed up. We need to hold it. Like all of us, when we first heard about Bitcoin, didn't put in the study, the time, the proof of work to be able to understand it, and now holdings go down. At some stage, they're going to flip, and the race is going to be on. And game theory, it's already here on a nation state level, but when it kicks off another gear, it's going to be absolutely insane, absolutely epic. I truly do believe they will come for Bitcoin. Little bit of time, and the longer it takes for them to actually get it, the better it is for everyone. And talking about getting Bitcoin, we are out of the 58K range. The 58K gang is just always in charge. We keep snapping back to that. We've been going sideways for like 6 months, but 59,234. If we go 3 months, it's a little bit down. It's a shame we can't get a 6-month chart, but halfway through and we're pretty much sideways as well. We've been here for a long time. That's February. It was pretty much sideways, but in the last 24 hours, we had a low of 57,918, just below the 58K, and a high of 59,600. 60K, it's back in play. We need to get above 64 for us to be able to pop higher. When's that going to happen? It's just a matter of time. Slowly, then suddenly, this is old adage within Bitcoin, and it happens. Bitcoin moves just over 10 days, about 11 days per year. Goes up and to the right. So the best thing is to spend time in the market. It's not try time the market. I keep this really basic, just to be able to buy, stack, and chill, not try to time the dips to be able to sell high, buy low. I just want to be able to get as much Bitcoin as possible. That is the best plan for everyone out there. For the majority of people, I'm not talking about the people that have math PhDs that understand crazy stuff. If they want to play games, good on them. If they've been doing it their whole life, well, you're a professional trader, go for it. But for most people, just buy, stack, and chill. This, a little bit of fake news that was going around that Kamala is likely to nominate Gary Gensler as Treasury Secretary if elected. If that happened, that would be bad news short term. What Gary Gensler, Elizabeth Warren, the Biden group have done to Bitcoin and crypto, quote unquote, over the last 4 years, absolutely horrendous behavior. Operation Choke Point 2.0, cutting off the banking system, the exit ramps from that fiat slave system that is so destructive on the human soul, on the mind, financially just keeps people slaves. They've been trying to close that off ramp for a long time. It's been happening here in Australia as well. Gary Gensler, Elizabeth Warren are huge behind that. We want to get rid of that. We want to stop that. But it is fake news at this stage. Caitlin Long chimed in. Okay, multiple Dems contact me to say the Gensler Treasury Secretary rumor is false. Thanks, Satoshi, for that. One thinks the source of the rumor is Gensler himself. What a narcissistic POS. Thinks he planned it just to mess with all of us. That sounds about right, to be honest. I don't know, just for the chance of Gensler getting back in, maybe throw your vote somewhere else. That would be absolutely horrific short term for us. In long stage, does it matter? No, not at all. And that's why I started this video off with prepare for volatility. We don't know what black swans are coming. Bitcoin, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 days, it'll just drop. This red will be even redder. People are going to be scared, shirtless, blood in the streets. Those times where you want to be able to get the conviction that the red button, it's just part of it. And then we're going to pump $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, you know, a couple of days later, couple of months later. You need to prepare for it. It's coming. The volatility, say that happens straight away, straight down would be my opinion. And we pump back up. Doesn't matter. We just need to opt out and not worry what happens long term, short term. It could mess around with a little bit of us. The IMF, they're trying to mess around as well. They've proposed an 85% tax on crypto mining. The Bitcoiners just wrote this. The suggestion by the IMF is in the right direction. No, it's not. That's not in the right direction for Team Humanity in the slightest. The IMF, in my opinion, are not for Team Humanity at all. Shout out to everyone watching live. We've got Matthew J, Elaine in the house, Steve Smith, Mr. Android, Habib, Hopefully I've not missed anyone there. If you are, lurk and say g'day in the chat. Why not? It is a grand and glorious day. But the Bitcoiners, this could undermine the intended environmental benefits of such a tax, therefore establishing a unified approach towards the taxation of crypto mining electricity is key to meaningful reductions in carbon emissions. This suggestion by the IMF is in the right direction. No. But the success will lie in international cooperation commitment to sustainable practices in the crypto industry. I'll repost that at Sean Clark 911. Read the comments. It's absolutely hilarious. But no, the IMF is not on the right track at all. They always want to come in with higher taxes, higher regulation. I live here in Australia. We've got some of the highest tax rates in the world, some of the highest electricity prices. We're feeling inflation. Our Pacific peso is absolutely garbage. The US dollar is absolutely garbage, and that's the world reserve currency. Just think how lucky you are if you live in the US. You've got a strong dollar relative to everywhere else. You can opt out. You can get more of this. In Australia, the Bitcoin, I'll just go AUD. Like, check this out. This is what we contend with. For you? Anyone there? 59,000 for us, $87,800. That's a lot of fiat dollars. It's only going to keep going up. It's only going to cost more. They're going to keep printing money. Inflation's going up and to the right forever. The US dollar, I believe, since 1971, it's lost 96% of its value and 25% of its value over the last 4 or 5 years. Australia's lost 12.5% against that. So we've lost, what, 35, 40% of our value here. The world's toast. Weimar Germany, is it happening? Maybe, but at a slower scale. We've got the opportunity to be able to front run it, to be able to opt out. Fiat is going down and to the right forever. Bitcoin is the scarcest digital private property, the best form of money humanity has ever known. Over time, as long as, according to Jeff Booth, it says decentralized and secure, it is going up and to the right forever. Good opportunity. Wall Street gets it. 100% they get it. They're buying it. BlackRock, Fidelity, they're buying Bitcoin and they're not putting it back onto the market. These people absolutely get it. And it's either they get the coins or you get the coins. And I hope it's everyone watching is taking it off the exchange, put it into self-custody, cold storage, and not letting Wall Street get it. They've been playing the game for too long. It's an opportunity to be able to front run them, get ahead of it. The gold bugs, they've been right over the last 30, 40 years. But Bitcoin came along and it would have been gold's time. And then Bitcoin came along and I think it's going to outperform. And just one thing on gold, well done. It hit $2,500 per ounce, the highest it's ever been, ever. Well done, absolutely fantastic. It does inflate at about 1 to 2% per year. So it is inflationary, and it's not going to lead to the massive amount of deflation in prices, home prices, grocery prices, electricity prices, steak prices, whatever it is. If you're saving in it compared to Bitcoin, Bitcoin's just superior over a longer period of time. But Peter Sweden, huge news, absolutely massive. People are pushing back. It's all futile in my opinion. Norway is rejecting the cashless agenda. New law will force shops to accept physical cash. Very good. Well done. Now, I don't know how much money Norway prints each year, but I'm sure they are also devaluing their currency. Maybe they target the 2% inflation per year. Well done. It means they're stealing from you 2% per year over year. It takes what, 20 odd years, 30 years to lose 50% of your value at 2% inflation. What happens? Massive money printing. Well done for Norway keeping cash around. At least it gives them a little bit of a runway to read the book so they don't end up eating the bugs. Bitcoin, physical cash, digital gold. It's not physical cash, it's digital cash, digital gold, superior in every way to cash. But I get it. If people like cash, they should absolutely love Bitcoin over a longer time frame. So we'll see how that plays out. The world, it's shifting very much so. This BRICS, we're going to be covering this for years. It's not going to happen all at once. The thing with it is that there is a very real possibility that the BRICS grows larger and becomes the predominant payment rail for international trade. Or maybe it's just a niche, but it is taking power away from the US dollar. which sort of affects everyone. Another reason to be able to get Bitcoin. But Carl B. Mender, in a move that could reshape the global financial order, it is expected that 159 countries will introduce BRICS Pay, a platform designed to facilitate transactions and local currencies and reduce dependence on the US dollar. Not going to happen overnight, but fiat currency, they last 50 to 100 years. We're at about that now with the US currency. So I think for most people in our lifetimes, depending on how old you are, most people, even if you're in your 60s, 70s, I believe in our lifetimes, we're going to see either US dollar hyperinflate, go to zero, be absolutely worthless, or it's just going to become a whole lot smaller than what it is now. 100% it's going to be worth less than what it is now, unless they back it by Bitcoin. And if they do back it by Bitcoin, it's just better to hold Bitcoin. Maybe they back it by gold. Still better to be able to hold Bitcoin, in my opinion. But we will see. What are your thoughts in regards to the BRICS Pay? 159 countries, and more serious. The BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And I believe, 159 countries. I listed 5. So a whole lot more are jumping in. And that's pretty important here. World's scarcest asset, 94% of all Bitcoin ever has been mined. The remaining 6% is going to take another 116 years to be able to get. The period of history that we are living in right now, it's absolutely amazing. It's incredible to be able to see. We're here for it. I really do just hope everyone's been reading the books, studying, getting as much of this as possible, not going on with the trade mentality. So we'll get to a thing very shortly. Actually, just hold that thought in regards to trade. We'll come back to that in like one video, one clip. Ione Appleberg, not having a universal ledger is going to feel pretty medieval pretty soon. A universal ledger is paramount to our continued journey towards becoming a Type 1 civilization. 100% agree with that. And then Pure Signal by Daz B here. The author of Beers for Bitcoin actually gave it to the house sitter to be able to read. Very young, intelligent lady. And started talking about Bitcoin. She's like, oh, maybe I should understand that. And I said, 100% you need to understand it. Whether you buy it or not, I don't really care. But just say no to Bitcoin without understanding it, like that's probably the worst financial mistake I believe anyone can make for the rest of their lives. This person's very young. Fiat's going to go down forever. They're going to be working, saving. And fiat to take 5-10 hours to start off with to be able to understand what you're working for the rest of your lives probably makes a little bit of sense. Anyway, Beers for Bitcoin, I gave that to her. It was my signed copy. It was my last signed copy from Daz. So I said, you need to give this back to me. But she's going to read the books, put in the proof of work, and hopefully she takes away and everyone else takes away. Don't trade Bitcoin. Don't trade the power laws, stock to flow, the trend lines, triangles, RSI, MACD. Aren't these venereal diseases, the dick-off patterns? Ishikroto, that sounds like another venereal disease as well. Horoscopes for men. 99% of people who try to trade end up with less Bitcoin. Don't be silly. DCA and withdraw to self-custody. Now, people hear that, they get all triggered. Some people out there, if you're a professional trader, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the 95% of people that just providing value in their lives. In the fiat system, they earn fiat, they put it into Bitcoin, and they can get on with their lives. As the purchasing power of Bitcoin grows, they get their time back. They can keep adding more value to the world and just save in Bitcoin. Seeing Bitcoin as a savings technology, not as this get-rich-quick scheme. It's just superior money, and it's the way that money should be, in my belief. This is who I'm speaking to right now. If you're the other 5-10% of people like Fred Krueger, a math PhD, like a math whiz, a genius that understands these things, sure, go ahead. But for everyone else, the best opportunity is just to be able to stack as hard as you possibly can. You're still like, I want to time the tops and bottoms. Cool, go for it. My opinion or belief, or maybe this helps someone else, is 90% just keep it in self-custody. For 4 or 5 years, as much as you can, get as much Bitcoin as you can. For everyone new or however long you've been in Bitcoin, really you've got about 4 years to be able to accumulate a huge stack. If you've been in Bitcoin for the last 4 years and you've been stacking hard, what you have now, you're not going to have a percentage for most people a whole lot more than what they have now. Stack as hard as you can for 4 years. Don't do anything. Don't trade it. as the next cycle comes around. 10%. If you want to be a degen and play the game a little bit, you've put in the proof work, you started to understand the dick off patterns, and you want to get your dick off the Ishikrodo horoscopes, man. If you want to go for it, I'm teasing a little bit. Go for it, but just a small portion for the majority of people. You're most likely going to lose it anyway, 90% of people. But hey, you still got 90% of your stack. This is the world's hardest, scarcest asset. Please just don't give it up. Otherwise, we've got psychopaths that are running the world with the fiat economy. This is about separating money from state, opting out of just a system that has perpetual wars. I'm not for people killing each other on Bitcoin. That can still happen. I understand, but the people need to vote for it. And most people in general are pretty reasonable and being like, nah, war, you're not going to get the hardest asset off me. I'm not going to fund your fiat war program any longer. It's going to take a while to play out. But that's what I'm here for a peaceful life where deflation is king, where everything gets cheaper over time as people put more and more value. GDP, it won't be growing, but it's a made-up number anyway. That doesn't help anyone. I can't wait. So hopefully that's the mission. Most of you, some of you are on. Let us know. Connect with me on X if that is you. Well, it's just going to come around so quick. The next halving, 192,470 blocks to go. We are at block height 857,530. Roughly every 10 minutes, we get a new one. Last block was 1 minute and 50 seconds ago. We're over $59,000. Check out that. We got a nice 69 this morning, 1,692 sats per US dollar. The market cap 1.17 trillion. Average block time pretty much on point. I believe over Bitcoin's history, this is 9 minutes and 42 seconds. I believe over Bitcoin's history, it's about 9 minutes and 36 seconds. So it is pretty much on par, even though they target that 10-minute inflation rate. This is looking pretty good. 22 blocks too fast. This is crazy, and this sort of links back to the Bitcoin way, getting a Plan B citizenship in a tax-friendly, human-friendly jurisdiction. But what Putin just dropped a bombshell, this Alex Jones here, like him or hate him, he's just reporting on what Putin's done. Like him or hate him, two very, very controversial men, I understand, but inviting people from across the globe who are fed up with the globalist neoliberal nightmare to seek sanctuary in traditional Russia. This news decree blows the lid off the establishment's agenda, letting freedom-loving folks bypass the usual bureaucratic nonsense like language tests or history exams if you're ready to reject the insane policies of your home countries that push these destructive, anti-human, neoliberal agendas. Russia's rolling out the red carpet. I'll just read a couple of things. Russia offers safe haven for people trying to escape Western liberal ideals. Moscow, August 19, will provide assistance to any foreigners who want to escape the neoliberal ideas being put forward in their countries and move to Russia, where traditional values reign supreme, according to a decree signed by President Vladimir Putin. Under the document, such foreign nationals will have the right to apply for temporary residence in Russia outside the quota approved by the Russian government without providing documents confirming their knowledge of the Russian language, Russian history, and basic laws. Applications may be based on the rejection of the country's policies aimed at opposing destructive neoliberal ideals on people, which run counter to traditional Russian spiritual and moral values. These values are listed in the foundations of Russia's state policy in this field, while the Russian government is expected to compile a list of countries imposing unhealthy attitudes on their system. It's so interesting. The foreign minister has been instructed to start issuing 3-month visas to such applicants as early as in September. September is going to be a huge month. Rate cuts are pretty much priced in as well. If they don't happen, the market's going to be incredibly volatile. This opening up a huge capital flight. And when people just have enough and they've been saving in fiat system, they can't just take it with them. And all right, they think, oh, how do I get my whole life energy, everything I've worked hard for, how can I get that over to Russia, El Salvador, China, Japan, wherever they want to go? Bali, maybe they just want to sit on the beach and drink mimosas. Cool, whatever. But how do you do that? Can't take cash. They're going to confiscate that at the airport. Okay, gold. But it's too heavy. It's going to cost you a whole lot in baggage, or armed guards, and you don't want to put it under the aeroplane either. It's probably going to be gone. What else can I use? Oh, I can keep 12 words in my head. Let's buy Bitcoin. You get another spike with it. The whole world has gone mad. People need to just need to wake up. They will wake up to the fact that this life raft is here, and it's just unstoppable now, in my opinion. Maybe I've been drinking the Kool-Aid a whole lot too much, but everything's sort of lining up, and we've got that September date. In February, Putin supported the idea of Italian student Irene that Russia should ease entry rules for those who share traditional culture and family values. The head of state agreed that each case requires an individual approach. We'll see how that plays out. In Australia, talking about gold as well, this Senator Jared Renwick gets blasted as being a right-wing conspiracy theorist, but how condescending are these overpaid bureaucrats? It's because he speaks like this. He speaks pretty straight for a politician, yeah? So take that with however you will. They're politicians. But the RBA doesn't want me to release the serial numbers of our gold bars or the covering letter where they state the presence of fake gold bars and duplicate serial numbers were located at the Bank of England. Apparently, it would go against the spirit of the disclosure and could be the subject of conspiracy. Fucking no shit. Here we go again. Whenever you get too close to the truth, the conspiracy epithets start flying, don't they? Well, too bad. The spirit of democracy is to ensure the accountability and transparency of elected officials rather than cover up their incompetent behavior. And I quote, marking serial numbers on gold bars is a critical process for ensuring traceability, authenticity, and compliance with industry standards. Even if they do that, write the serial numbers on it, that's silver. Like if they're just to like engrave onto it, gold bars, they're big ones. If they were to do that, they could still be lead bars, and we wouldn't know. We could see it on camera. Maybe don't trust, verify. Bitcoin is superior, but it's pretty interesting. Trying to do something and they come out as a right-wing conspiracy theorist because he wants people to be able to verify what's going on. Does Australia have their gold or not? Who knows? Why don't we have it here in this country? Why doesn't every country have it? Because it's easier to be able to keep in a centralized location. Stuff that. Australia doesn't have their private property. It's happening all around the world. This is why I am such an advocate for Bitcoin. We can actually hold it. Really quick PSA, the Bitcoin Lab is my shop here. I'm going to close this store down probably in about the next week and move over to a different thing. So it's going to take a while before they are back in action. If you want to support the channel or you just want to send Bitcoin, signal the message out there, the bitcoinlab.io. If you use code G'DAY, you get a discount, 10-15% off, I believe. Read the books, eat the bugs. Humble is the shirt I am wearing at the moment. It's there if you want it. The hat's from there as well. It's the comfiest hat that I've ever worn, bar none. You can go to men's, use code G'DAY if you want to support the channel or you just want to send that a signal. Otherwise, the shop, it'll be back up in a month or two. Just an FYI. That is there. We'll be getting closed down. That's the news with the fast facts. We are going to go into a quick little banter. If you're new to the show and you haven't already, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. We go live 5 days a week. Sorry I didn't go live yesterday. Do apologize. I went up. It was a huge drive, 8-hour drive. I was listening to the Mandibles on audiobook. I'd read it before years, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, and I hadn't quite remembered it, hadn't clicked until I was like a third of the way through it. I'm like, oh, this book is absolutely brilliant. I was enjoying it, but reading and then hearing it with the voice actor, really, really good. I'd recommend it for everyone. Anyway, went up and saw a business partner, bringing something very interesting to the Australian Bitcoin community in general. I think I've talked about a little bit, beef jerky. It's absolutely base. It's incredible. Still working on the flavors, the packaging. Anyway, that's coming up, but we are one step closer. So I apologize for not going live yesterday, but 7:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, we do go live with the news, and then we drop all these podcasts as well. So if you're new, under videos, Tony, sponsor of the video, check out his story, going through hyperinflation, being a multi-millionaire in US dollars, and they changed that into the Lebanese pound. I believe that's the right name for the Lebanese dollar, the Lebanese pound. That hyperinflated away recently, yeah? Like that's insane. I've done videos with Natalie Brunel, Greg Foss, James Laverish, Walker, There's so many great people in the space. There's heaps there. So check those out if you are looking for something. Do I do any mining, dude? No, not yet. I don't. But I am interested for a little bit of fun in the BitXs. Like in Australia, our electricity rate is, I think, the third highest in the world economically. It doesn't make any sense. As a pet project, to be able to do it, cool. Like, absolutely for fun. I will get into that, but probably just through a BitX or something similar. I did look at the Brains mining, I think, the Brains miner, but not 100% sure where I'd be when they set out for delivery. So we'll see when it comes in stock and if I can get the time frame of when it will be delivered. That's the hardest thing because we are going away quite a lot. BitX solo miner, never actually got any sats from it. Were you solo mining or did you join like Ocean there? Matthew, I'd be very interested. Matthew J, we're so early. I know you're sick of hearing it, but only 0.037 of the population will be whole coiners. If you can get to a whole coin, please do. Hold on for dear life and just absolutely relax, provide value, and keep saving in Bitcoin. There's 21 million, and that's it. And maybe 5 million coins have been lost. It is the best form of money, best form of currency humanity has ever known, the best store of value humanity has ever known. When the money is broken, people look for harder and harder things. That's why house price is absolutely so insane, especially in Australia. They think these houses that build out of like material that just rots when it gets wet and doesn't last for like more than, say, 50 odd years. I believe houses now designed or built to last. People are using that for a store of value because the money's broken. They're just trying to get out of their failing currency. They haven't quite woken up to Bitcoin, but when they do and they realize, hey, there's only 21 million, this is actually verifiably digitally scarce, the race is on, it's got value, the proof of work mechanism, the mining behind it. They dive in. There's, like Matthew's saying, 0.037% of the population can be a whole coiner. If that's you, well done. That's absolutely massive. For everyone else, just do what you can to get as much as you possibly can, because when the race is on and people come, it will be the new gold rush. And by then it's too late. I think that's going to come. So does so many people. And maybe it takes longer than what we think, but I think it's going to happen pretty soon. And most people already, like 87,000 Australian Pacific pesos or 59,000, are already priced out a one full Bitcoin. I don't know. It's an interesting time in human history, that's for sure. One Bitcoin would be awesome. Mr. Android, it is possible. I'm not sure where you are in the world, but whatever it is, if it's 1.1, 0.5, whatever it is, to get as much as you can. I don't know. That's up to you. I think everyone's going as hard as they possibly can. And the reason I'm pushing for it so much is because the people that put in the proof of work, you don't change Bitcoin. Bitcoin changes you. People that really understand Bitcoin become nicer. They're pleasant to be around. But like most importantly, they've got their time back. As Bitcoin goes up in value and it's saving years of their working life, there's people to be able to chill with, to be able to talk with. And when they put in the proof of work, the study of Bitcoin, you've got this base foundation, or Bitcoiners are just base. And the conversation, you've already got a good footing. Instead of starting the conversation down here, you're starting it up here, and then you can go way, way higher or way deeper with it. Just Bitcoiners are more interesting. So I don't know. Do with that what you will. Yes, Peter owned Bitcoin not under his name, but under his Bitcoin name, Satoshi Nakamoto. Imagine if we found out. Imagine a silly thought experiment. Imagine if we found out Peter Schiff was Satoshi Nakamoto. You'd be like, what the hell? Everything I ever believed about Bitcoin was a lie. But that's not happening. China bought Bitcoin. Matthew J, what's the source for that? And if that's true, we will focus on that tomorrow. There is rumors circulating that China is ready to unban Bitcoin, but these rumors have been circulating for a long time as well. Pretty interesting. Real interested though, Matthew J. If you've got a source, And good morning, Elaine. Good to see you. Stephen Smith, the chilling can be a bit painful, but 100% it is. If we look at this price that's one year, it makes it look easy, where we've just sort of gone up and to the right and stair step. But the last 6 months going sideways is really boring. It's designed to shake people out. These little wicks down. What actually I find really interesting, if we go 3 months, look how it's like winding up here. It's just getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Maybe it drops down, shakes people out even more after this 3 months of sideways, the 6 months of sideways. It gets insanely hard to be able to have patience, to be able to just chill. But like BitGet says, make it count. I just do nothing. It's like stoicism, I guess. Just go with the flow and allow life to take place. But yeah, it's freaking hard, where it's just red day after red day after red day, or it's just grey day where it's going sideways. It comes up a little bit, comes back down. We've been stuck at 58, 59K for so long. You're like, is this thing ever going to do anything? I don't really care if it goes up or down, and start poking it with a stick. And then maybe you sell everything and then it pumps the next day. I feel like it's a test. And if you don't pass the test, if you sell your Bitcoin, well, you fail and then Bitcoin just rips. But it's hard. Bloody oath, it's hard. Caitlin Long is based 100%. That means you're not chilling properly, mate, Mr. Android, in regards to Steve. Ignore the talking heads and MSN, just buy stack and chill. Retro Beaver gets it. Stink limit bids and gents. G'day from the People's Republic of Canada. Another socialist communist country. Welcome from People's Republic of Communist Australia. No, it's pretty interesting. Or like the regulation, the insanity, the clown world. When you have Bitcoin, you've been stacking for a long time. Clown world's still happening, and we talk about it, but you sort of remove yourself from it in a way, and it really doesn't matter anymore. You just opt out, and you can sit there and you can laugh and you can watch and stuff, but you don't need to participate in the clown world. That's the best thing. But it is. There's like insanity everywhere, and it could just get even more insane what's happening in London, like the attack, just the attack on free speech. Absolutely insane. I've been thinking about the riots as well. And in Australia, I'm not advocating for them, and I believe people should be peaceful, and I don't think they're helpful in any way. Like it just happened in Melbourne, people are standing there with big banners and stuff, and I don't think there's any violence, or I hope not. But I feel like it's the media plays left wing versus right wing, pro-immigration, anti-immigration, you're racist, you're not a racist, blah, 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 against each other, red versus blue the whole time. And it's like they get together and they're like, how can we stir both groups of people up? And then we get them into a small alley, and then we push them towards each other with these riots. We've seen this in London. And they funnel them down, they create a clash, and there's violence, and a whole lot of bad stuff happens. People, usually probably more so on the right, what traditional media is labeling on the right, end up in jail. And then they use that, hey, look how out of hand this has gotten. It's probably just a small minority of people, and obviously it escalates, it grows. And then they use that, so they create the problem, they stir these two groups up, they incite it, the two groups come together, people go to jail or whatever, and they're like, hey, there's a problem, we need to fix this, we need to come out with more surveillance, we need to see everything everyone's doing, we need to track people the whole time, this is why we need digital IDs, this is why we need CBDCs, because this is happening. Well, they created that. So instead of rioting, advocate with your local politician. You know, most of them are a joke, I understand that, but that's the way to be able to do it. It's a lawfare society. We need to attack them through the right ways, rise through the ranks and get people to advocate for pro-regulation to be able to change that dying, decrepit, evil system. Now, it's not going to happen really much. It's so entrenched, but still, we want to live in the country where we live in. And the majority is bigger than that tiny minority, the kleptocrats that are in power. So we can push them out, we can vote them out and find out who's got the best policies that are just going to leave us alone. But at the same time, we can just step aside. We can just buy Bitcoin. We can opt out and we can say, go fuck yourself to them. And we cannot worry. Sorry about the swearing. We got Boris. He is a real foul-mouthed puppet. And when Boris is about, the profanity goes up a little bit because all he says is people should just buy fucking Bitcoin. Boris, he's out of control. He is out of control, this dude. Is just buy Bitcoin is probably a nice way to be able to say it. But this strange little creature, dude, he got locked in the cupboard due to his foul mouth. But all he really wants is just for everyone just to opt out. Boris is also sick of the fucking wars. Boris, out of control. Anyway, that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Habib, if you own your house, now it's a good time to rent a place and sell your house and put the money into Bitcoin. People need a house to live. I get it. But if you have a house, just realize it's a liability, not an asset. And with your own house, it's improvement on your life, depending on where you are in the journey. Maybe that's good advice, maybe not. Or maybe it's good advice, but you pay a mortgage anyway, or you pay your house off anyway. Like, power to you. But don't just think the house is an asset. I don't need Bitcoin. Like many people on the street believe, Faith's going to melt this cycle. It's a new method of accounting on par with the Medici double entry approach. Yeah, triple entry accounting is the biggest revolution really since sliced bread. Brian DeMint, is he in the house? Good morning. Good to see you. Parallel Economy, a book. I just want to talk about sponsors on this show for a while. Just 2 seconds. So I've had a couple of sponsors on the show. It started off with Brian with his first book and then the second book, Parallel. And I highly am the biggest advocate of reading the books, otherwise people are going to eat the bugs. So when it comes to sponsors for this show, I've only gone with education companies. We've had authors that come on. We've also had Seb Bunny, The Hidden Cost of Money, Daz B, Beers for Bitcoin, come on. And I'm very happy to take sponsorships because I truly believe in my heart, in my soul, that people really should read the books or listen to audio books, get that information and watch the YouTube videos, read the articles, read Medium, just study Bitcoin. But reading, like, it's the greatest joy of my life, reading Bitcoin books, even better. So I've brought authors on with the show, and for the Bitcoin Way, they're also an education company. They empower you to be able to understand Bitcoin at a very high level, security level, to be able to protect it, for it to be airtight, for it never to be unconfiscatable, so you're a sovereign individual. On the show, that's who I want to stick with. I don't need the money, but to be able to bring value to you through that, if you use their services or you buy the book, if you buy a book, I don't get a commission, but if you use the Bitcoin Way, I get a commission. And I'm happy with that myself because it's empowering for everyone out there. Everyone that's gone through it has benefited from it. So just so you know, and the only other type of sponsor that will be on the show is my own things that I'm doing, which will be the beef jerky business as well, which is the best high protein snack I believe anyone can eat. Apart from that, I'm really not interested. And, you know, if you question it, like, I get pushback in the comments, oh, there's ads or whatever. It's free information. Take it or leave it. That's fine. But the sponsors are beneficial for people on their Bitcoin journey. And you can figure it out all yourself, but it may fast track it. Quicker you can understand Bitcoin, the quicker this world becomes better. Because Clown World is fucked. Like, totally fucked. I'm sick of it. Especially the wars are just mainly designed to print money. I just feel like they get together and they're like, who can we go to war with today to be able to print more money or get more oil barrels or go in after their natural resources and decimate the local economy, the local people. There's one race, there's a human race, and I'm not for killing anyone. I think proper conversation, discourse can lead to better understanding. Protect your national borders. That's fine. If you want to bring people in, I'm all for it. Just look after your country first, but have decent conversation. People can disagree with me, but I don't know. That's in regards to the sponsors. That's why I work with those particular people and why I continue to full transparency there. Once the world is on a Bitcoin stand, we'll start building beautiful, long-lasting buildings again, 100%. Like, what happened to the hoverboards? Or if I can get Boris, he's bad. Where the fuck are the hoverboards? I told you he's out of control, this little dude. But where are they? Like, I think if we're on a gold standard still and Bitcoin wasn't about, we'd probably be closer. We haven't sent anyone to the moon since, what, the 1960s? Went off the gold standard in the 1970s. I think on a Bitcoin standard, the progress that humanity was having was getting hot, like faster and faster and faster, as accelerating. We went off the gold standard. There's no value anymore in the world. It's all just monopoly money. And nothing's really happened. The aeroplanes aren't any faster. Like, they've gotten rid of the Concorde, which is insane. A beautiful aeroplane, obviously, is very noisy and stuff. But with technology now, we could surpass it, and we haven't, I believe, on a Bitcoin standard, because people want value and they're not getting that Bitcoin back. They're going to want people to put in really amazing proof of work. We get beautiful buildings, beautiful technology. Maybe we come as space race. These elevators up to space, floating cities, hanging around the globe and stuff. Do we want them? Do we not want them? I don't know, but I believe it only becomes possible on a hard money standard, on a superior money stand, which is Bitcoin. I believe it's all going to get better. Instead of making these big house vacuum things to be able to pull CO2 out, planting more trees, I think just common sense is going to prevail instead of just throwing fiat money at things that just break, end up in the garbage tip. I don't know. I do not know. No, Sean, everything you knew about Peter Schiff was wrong, not Satoshi. I know Peter Schiff's not Satoshi. There's times where I've really railed against Schiff because I don't respect him for the retort in regards to Bitcoin. He has misled many people over the years, but just him talking about Bitcoin over and over again, I don't respect him, but I like him, if that makes sense. He's entertaining in so many ways. And I think he's getting closer and closer and closer to Bitcoin. And for some things, I think he's done us a favor. But yes, he's definitely not Satoshi Nakamoto. I thought they had 174. Now they have 194. This must be in regards to China. Boris is a triple maxi. Dude's a problem for the WEF. Boris hates the WEF. Go fuck yourself, WEF. Boris is out of control. I'd never say that. Not at all. But fucking Boris hates him because of the dystopian regime. Now I'm playing, and I won't swear all the time, we'll lock Boris back away as well. But once you truly understand Bitcoin, you can never go back because it is superior. It makes everything better. And yes, like if you were to buy at $69,000 last cycle and we're still sitting at $59,000 a couple of years later, I understand that's hard. That's devastating. That's where you need to be able to have patience. But if you're DCAing all the way in, you'd probably be up about 50%. And that's why DCA is a superior strategy. People that try to sell the top and time the bottom if they're waiting for 13K, it never happened. We got 17,600 and then it's pumped all the way back up to 59,234. It is a superior. It's just about getting as much and not trying to trade it. I think that's a fiat mindset for the majority of people. It's the fiat system. The trade is something for nothing. It doesn't happen with Bitcoin. Yeah, you sell it, probably most likely not going to get it back unless you get lucky. And I don't want to leave my life to luck. I want it to be very systematic and I want to be able to progress forward like El Salvador has done, 1 Bitcoin a day. I don't care about the price. Michael Saylor, he gets cash, he buys Bitcoin. I don't know. I think or anyone that's been around for a while, says don't trade Bitcoin. So I'd rather listen to those people. And it's been the best bet for the average person. And, I don't know. That's me. Not smart enough mathematically to be able to time the tops and bottoms. If that's you, go for it. Boris for president, he needs to debate Schiff and end his FUD for good. Would be interested to have a conversation with Schiff, be probably a little bit more respectful than it has been today with him. But yeah, I've definitely got a couple of questions. So we'll see if we can make that happen, I don't know, in due course between now and when here in Timbuktu, but we'll see what's possible. Anyway, have a very beautiful day. If you haven't already, hit the notification bell, subscribe. If you need help, talk to Tony, the team at the Bitcoin Way. The first 30 minutes is free. They're legends. And then in the meantime, read Parallel. If you've read 5 Bitcoin books, read Crypto Sovereignty by Eric Case. And I want to get him back onto the show again. Hopefully he's going to cheat code. But that book, blow your mind if you haven't already read it. It's absolutely insane. That's probably who I identify with and my beliefs about what Bitcoin is in general. I think that's probably the closest to, or as Nico Moran says, the separation of money from state. Fuck him. They've done so much evil in the world. Their system, it's broken, it's failing. It keeps people enslaved, indebted, and chained for the rest of their life. And then they save in it, and they double the money supply in 4 years, and they take away half that savings purchasing power, half their life. I'm not into that. And so, I don't know. Hopefully you're on this journey and you can just help the world become a better place. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day.